guys, welcome back to Gwayne Sailing. In early May, I flew back to the United States to visit my youngest daughter Jessie and her husband Justin and their brand new baby boy, Brody James. I stayed for a week, and while I was gone, Wayne made short day hops with the catamaran by himself along the south coast of Puerto Rico. He was able to enjoy the company of fellow boaters each night along the way, as well as provision for food and supplies, and also getting a few boat projects completed while I was away. I enjoyed my time in Michigan, celebrating my birthday with family, and it was nice to be in the cool air during the week that I spent there. Wayne enjoyed his stops along the southern coast of Puerto Rico and stopped to visit Hector the Protector in Culebra. This guy is made out of wood pallets and protects the island from visitors with bad intentions. Wayne then sailed on to St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where I met back up with him. We played tourists in St. Thomas for a few days while there. We dinghied over to the nearby Hassel Island to check out the ruins of a marine railway, which was built back in the 1840s. This place was once one of the biggest ship repair spots in the Caribbean and is now a national park. The old iron tracks running into the water were used to pull huge steamships completely out of the harbor for repairs, using a steam-powered cradle system. It's basically a giant 19th century boat lift. There were some refloating steel containers and diving bells used for salvage work. We can walk around this island without a tour guide, and although much of it is overgrown now, there is so much history here. We had fun watching the seaplanes take off in the bay as we explored the island. One of our highlights in St. Thomas was doing a hike up the historical 99-step staircase to the top of the mountain, where Blackbeard's Tower sits overlooking the bay. Built back in 1679, the only thing left here is a museum, gift shop, and a tower to climb up and look at the views. We paid a small daily fee to swim in one of their two swimming pools and had a drink at the bar and restaurant on their property. We were able to get a great view of our boat in the harbor while enjoying their facilities. At night, we watched huge fish swim under our boat, and during the day, we would watch the cruise ships come and go in this port town. Our next step was just a short 1-hour sail over to Christmas Cove, where the famous Pizza Pie boat makes pizzas and calzones for the local cruisers to enjoy in the floating chairs alongside their boat. We anchored right next to the Pizza Pie for a few days and had beautiful views in all directions. We enjoyed eating pizza as the fish swam in the water below our feet, and the birds flew above us looking for scraps of pizza crust. We enjoyed hanging out with our fellow boaters, Derek and Beta, while we were there. In addition to the great pizza, Christmas Cove had amazing snorkeling, paddleboarding, and great scenery as well. Wayne took this opportunity to put on his scuba stuff and clean the bottom of the boat while we were anchored here for the 3 nights. Our next stop was in the delightful town of Cruz Bay on St. John's Island, where we explored the shops in the afternoon and hit a few bars for happy hour specials before the sun went down and we needed to head back to our boat. This harbor was delightful, and we enjoyed riding around in the dinghy to look at the boats and the houses on the cliffs along the waterfront. Dust from the Saharan Desert in Africa blows over the Atlantic Ocean each summer, which usually affects the air in the Caribbean, so our pictures and videos this month are a bit hazy due to all the dust in the sky. We were still able to get some great shots as we made our way from the U.S. Virgin Islands to the British Virgin Islands, where we checked in at West End Tortola. Wayne raised the yellow quarantine flag until he was able to check in with customs and immigration, and then came back to the boat and raised the BVI flag. We made our way to Road Town and spent the afternoon with Fred and Susie, who are also going to Grenada. We all went to a sushi restaurant that Wayne and I had been to before. The waterfront city and houses in the hilly anchorage were really lit up as we made our way back to the boat after dinner. The next night there was a full moon, so we grabbed a mooring ball at East End Tortola in the BVI's. The only spot left was right at the end of the nearby airport runway. This anchorage gets very crowded with people coming from all over the world honoring this phase of the moon. Trellis Bay is famous for their monthly full moon party, which includes a buffet dinner and many different forms of entertainment. We ate dinner with our boater friends, George and Sylvie, then watched as the fire dancers performed shows at a couple of different venues. There was even a limbo dancer for some reason, and live music too. The locals create different pieces of artwork made out of steel and light it up with fire once the sun sets to celebrate the full moon. The highlight of the BVI's was the Bass National Park. We anchored in the beautiful bay facing all the huge boulders on the beach. You can dinghy from your boat to the park boundary, which is marked off with buoys. You tie your boat to the line and then you need to swim the rest of the way to shore. From there, it's a 15-minute hike to the top of the hill to pay the entrance fee to the park, and then another 15-minute walk through the desert landscape where we could see our boat in the distance in the water. Then we went down to the baths area where we explored for a while. It was fun to squeeze through the small openings and find huge rooms and caves between the smooth rocks. The crystal clear water coming in from the ocean gets trapped inside and warms in the sun, which makes it great for swimming. The park has built ladders and bridges and installed ropes to help folks climb up and down some of the larger boulders. Some spots were very narrow and we had to duck down to squeeze through, but then the room would open up and sunshine would be shining down on us from above. There was a little beachside bar at the exit where we stopped for a drink to watch the chickens before we had to swim back to our dinghy, and then take the dinghy back to the catamaran. But we had an amazing view that night. We also stopped at the world-famous Bitter End Yacht Club for a few hours the next day, which neither of us had been to before. The entire place had been recently rebuilt and was absolutely beautiful. We ate dinner on the terrace overlooking the mooring field as the sun set. We ate dinner the next night with Alan, Natalie, George, and Sylvie in Spanish Town before checking out of the British Virgin Islands and buddy boating together across the Anegada Passage. This crossing was very rough and took us about 20 hours to traverse. Along the way, we tried to avoid the huge patches of sargassum so it wouldn't clog our engines. And at night, we could see the world's largest cruise ship all lit up heading the other way. The boat is called the Wonder of the Seas and holds about 7,000 guests. It has 16 decks and over 20 restaurants and bars aboard. We anchored in Sint Maarten late that evening and woke up refreshed in a new country. Sint Maarten is part of the Lesser Antilles and is shared between France and the Netherlands since 1648. The French side takes up around 60% of the island, and both French and English are spoken here. English and Dutch are the official languages on the other side. The US dollar can be used on both sides. You don't need a passport to go between the two countries. We anchored on the French side and enjoyed sampling their delicious bakeries and cheese shops. We toured a brewery and did some provisioning. We walked around town to get a feel for the country and saw brightly painted buildings and murals. We met up with other cruisers who also stopped for a break here in Sint Maarten and who are also continuing to Grenada, just like us. We took a walk with friends along a beautiful beach and past some lovely beach bars over to the airport that is famous for a runway right at the beach. The jets blast the tourists who stand behind fences as the breeze takes off the hats, sunglasses, and cameras and fly into the water if you don't secure them. We watched the planes land as we ate lunch at the nearby beach restaurant that helpfully displayed all of the planes' schedules on their chalkboard inside. Boat parts are cheap and easy to get here, especially for a French-made boat like our Lagoon 450. So Wayne made sure that all of our engines, hoses, and electrical equipment were in good shape while we were here. We took a $2 bus ride over to the Dutch side to see the difference in the two cultures. We didn't need a passport or have to go through customs. Along the way, we saw many herds of goats crossing the road. The capital town of Philipsburg had colorful murals painted on most of their buildings, just like the French side did. The beautiful boardwalk along the water was lined with hotels, shops, and bars. We had lunch with Andy on the boat called Unhurried at the restaurant called the Dutch Blonde, which overlooked the beach. Both the French and the Dutch sides has amazing wines, breads, and cheeses along the waterfront, with great places to watch the beautiful sunsets. We hiked to the top of the nearby hill on our last day in Sint Maarten with our friends Beta and Derek to visit the ruins of Fort Lewis, which was built in 1789 to defend Marigo's port, where rum, salt, and sugarcane were stored. There were great 360-degree views of the mountains, bays, and our catamaran from way up here. Well, that's all for this episode of Gwayne Sailing. Join us next time as we explore Nevis, Montserrat, and Guadeloupe. If you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.